so much as a warning. Life hangs in the balance. Human endeavor turns to chaos. And within seconds, nothing will ever be the same. Ever.
Get ready to experience 30 heart-pounding minutes of the most spectacular destruction ever caught on tape. A snowmobiler triggers an avalanche that sends him and his machine tumbling 1,000 feet down a mountain. And a British airshow crowd is stunned when a 24-ton cargo plane crashes right before their eyes. It's the most intense half hour on television when things get destroyed in seconds.
Countless lemons are scattered across the street in downtown Buenos Aires, Argentina. Police try to maintain order as locals vie for a share of the produce. The cause of this unusual disturbance? A truck driver on this overpass is driving way too fast. He loses control of his vehicle and hits the concrete guardrail. His payload? 20 tons of lemons plummets 50 feet onto the street below, narrowly missing some pedestrians. Not only is the driver going over the speed limit, his truck's cargo doors are improperly secured, and his payload is poorly packed. When he hits the wall, a huge cargo door swings open and he loses his freight. The traffic light on the street below is red, so no cars are directly in the path of the falling cargo. But as the pedestrians flee, one almost gets run over by a car. This is the third accident on this section of freeway in only 2 weeks. Although all 3 accidents are attributed to driver error, it's determined that this section of freeway will be closed until further notice. November 2008. 35 inches of rain falls on the southern Brazilian state of Santa Catarina. As the soil becomes saturated, it loosens dirt and rock. The result? A series of catastrophic mudslides. Over 400 slides are reported. In the town of Blumenau, residents of an apartment tower document a mudslide. The hill above Herman Huser Street erodes by the hour. The foundations of some of the hilltop homes have already been undermined. As the rain continues to fall, several houses appear to be on the verge of collapse. The rain-soaked ground below one house finally gives way. The home slides down the hill and slams into the back of another house, wiping it off its foundation. When the first house begins its slide, some of the tower residents fear it may hit their building. The mud reaches the tower's courtyard. The building itself is spared. But the earth isn't done moving. A few doors down from the first slide, another house finds itself in the path of the mudslide. For the rest of Santa Catarina, the torrential rains cause widespread devastation. 128 lose their lives. It's one of Brazil's worst natural disasters in recorded history. In the case of the 3 homes destroyed on Herman Huser Street, all were evacuated prior to the mudslides. hours earlier, a group of thrill seekers gather in a local motel room. They cobble together a homemade 5-person swing.
Professionally made by myself.
And are about to try it out on the 175-foot-high Sunshine Skyway Bridge. They construct the swing using cable, rope, plastic tubing, duct tape, and some hardware. They gather in a parking lot to finish their contraption and attach it to a long steel cable.
I should have used the other cable, but then again, we'll all die with the other cable.
Ready for the jump, they race onto the bridge. To avoid being stopped by officials, they quickly get into place and prepare for the daring plunge. This is one thrill they'll soon regret.
2, 3, go!
Tampa, Florida, the Sunshine Skyway Bridge. A group of friends build a 5-person pendulum swing.
Professionally made by myself.
Their plan? To jump off Tampa's 175-foot-high Sunshine Skyway Bridge. After an original member gets cold feet, Jeff Sargent becomes a last-minute substitution.
The last person to do the stunt didn't feel like doing it, and there was some bad vibes or whatnot, and Steve decided for me to be the alternate. Now I'm gonna do it.
The group fashions a 5-person swing out of ropes, plastic tubing, wooden discs, and a long piece of steel cable. They rush into place and prepare to jump before they can be stopped by officials.
2, 3, go!
As they complete their first swing beneath the bridge, the G-force causes their rig to snap. The group plunges 60 feet, slamming into the bay at 50 miles per hour. Friends in a nearby boat speed over. The panicked group clings together, screaming for help. A second boat arrives on scene. One by one, they're pulled from the water. Realizing the extent of the injuries, the boats race to shore. 4 of the 5 jumpers are hurt. 2 suffer serious injuries, including a broken neck and a broken collarbone. All 4 are rushed to a nearby hospital. All the jumpers make full recoveries. After breaking laws for negligence, trespassing, and reckless endangerment, the group members receive probation. Any snowmobiler will tell you there's nothing like riding in fresh powder.
Frickin' awesome!
Today, Trennis Bear and his friends are going to see who can ride closest to the top of Montana's Lion's Head Peak. Each tries to surpass the other's mark on the pristine snow. Trennis goes full throttle and speeds towards the summit. But the fresh snow is loosely packed, making it prone to avalanches. Add vibrations from a 500-pound snowmobile, and you're asking for trouble. Trennis sees the snow give way under him and hits the gas. He goes from 0 to 100 in a matter of seconds. Luckily, Trennis is able to beat the snow and avoid being crushed. But a year later, Trennis will face a rematch. After a storm lays down a fresh blanket of snow, Trennis and his friends are back at Lion's Head Peak. One of the safety features snowmobilers carry in case of an avalanche is a locator beacon. It sends a signal to help find people buried under snow. But today, Trennis has left his beacon in a coat.
Trennis!
Trinus pushes his 230 horsepower snowmobile up the 10,000-foot peak. In the exact spot where Trinus ran into trouble the year before, the snowpack beneath him gives way. Once again, Trinus tries to outrun the onslaught. But as he comes up over a rise, he and his snowmobile go airborne. They fly 20 feet into the air. Trinus is thrown off his machine and tumbles more than 1,000 feet down the slope. His friends lose sight of him as he's consumed by the crushing wall of snow. When they realize the avalanche might reach them, they gun their machines and get out of harm's way. When the snow settles, Trinus' friends find the half-buried wreckage of his snowmobile. But no sign of Trinus. Without his locator beacon, there's no way to know where he's buried. 20 feet uphill from the wreck, they see a hand sticking out of the snow. They frantically dig out Trinus before he suffocates. He's cold and disoriented, but happy to be alive.
You came down a long ways, man.
Trinus considers himself extremely fortunate to have escaped 2 hairy encounters with an avalanche without so much as a scratch. It's the Caterham K-Series National Championship outside Bath in southwest England.
A tremendous battle from start to finish.
The Caterham is a light, agile sports car renowned for its performance and handling. It weighs only slightly more than 1,100 pounds and has a top speed of 150 miles per hour. A combination that can instantly turn a race into chaos. This is the Caterham Championship near Bath, England.
It really is quite a battle out there.
An 1,100-pound Caterham can reach speeds of 150 miles per hour.
And Oxford is off on the draft.
Car number 66, driven by Paul Whitford, tries to pass car number 15.
A huge accident. That's an enormous impact.
Whitford's racer clips the car's left rear tire. The tire is exposed because the car has lost its left rear fender. The tire acts as a rotating launcher and propels Whitford's vehicle into the air. A second car spins out and narrowly escapes being crushed. When he tries to pass, Whitford's car flips and bounces. With just a short safety barrier between them and the mayhem, track workers scramble to avoid being hit by the car and its debris. He lands hard, but on all 4 wheels.
At the end of the day, I'm happy to tell you that all drivers okay.
The Caterham safety harness and roll cage save his life. By the time the car is hauled away, Whitford is seen walking around and telling his friends about the experience. It's the 5th annual Jump Championship, featuring desert-style off-road vehicles. The goal of this event is to see how far you can launch your vehicle. Hitting speeds of around 50 miles per hour, these modified off-road vehicles are capable of soaring more than 100 feet. The 4-foot-high dirt ramp has an upward lip, designed to send trucks flying. On this day, Chad Walton, an experienced off-road enthusiast, is going to attempt to jump in his 800 horsepower machine. Just after launch, the nose of the truck drops down, causing it to flip end over end 3 times and burst into flames. To initiate a good launch, drivers need to maintain a constant speed, but Chad lets off the gas just before hitting the ramp, causing the drop in the truck's nose. As the fire spreads, Chad is quickly pulled to safety. He escapes with barely a bruise. A water truck is brought in to douse the flames. Chad was successful in launching his truck to a record-setting 143 feet, but he wasn't declared the winner. In order to claim the prize, you have to be able to drive off the course. As a consolation, organizers present Chad with a different award. One for style. For over 60 years, Farnborough, England has played host to one of aviation's largest air shows. Hundreds of airplane manufacturers from around the world come here to show off their latest technological advances and cutting-edge designs. One of the planes being showcased is a modified 1980 DHC-5 Buffalo, a utility transport plane known for its ability to land and take off using very little runway. Short runway landings require a difficult and, at times, dangerously steep descent. Every year, hundreds of planes from all over the world come to Farnborough, England to showcase their latest designs. Next up on the tarmac is a modified DHC-5 Buffalo utility plane. This aviation marvel impresses due to its ability to take off and land using very little runway. But the features that make it so remarkable also make it extremely difficult to land. The plane is coming in too fast and too steep. Roughly 600 feet above the ground, the Buffalo dips to the right. The pilot fights to regain control, but a crosswind angles the plane toward the crowd. The pilot decides to ditch the 49,000-pound aircraft and hope for the best. The collision snaps off the plane's left wing, its engine spewing smoke and fire. Safety crews are on the scene within seconds. The pilot and co-pilot manage to free themselves and emerge from the wreck. Neither is injured. It becomes evident just how fortunate the spectators are when safety officials find a broken propeller blade in a nearby parking lot right next to the car it hit. Because it's on a short demonstration flight, the plane carries little fuel. Had the tanks been filled, the outcome would have been far more destructive, if not deadly. Police and freeway crews are mopping up after a big rig accident, when a sharp-eyed news chopper pilot covering the crash captures a breaking story. The out-of-control big rig hits the guardrail with such force, the cab's rear axle rips off and drops 20 feet to the ground. The momentum sends the rig into a news van as it bursts into flames. Emergency crews race across the freeway to the burning wreck. The driver is still inside. Moments later, he emerges from the smoke, uninjured. The truck also holds a passenger. In the midst of the crash, his door swings open and he's thrown from the cab. Rescuers find him in the grass median. He's not seriously injured. The freeway is shut down for hours as firefighters battle the blazing truck. In spite of the sanded and salted roads, authorities blame icy conditions for the accident. I'm Ron Pitts, and we'll see you next time on Destroyed in Seconds.